All right, now we're going to get into our power game, our gap schemes, okay? So, why power? All right, number one, because I love power. It's a downhill physical run play, just like our inside zone, right? All right, down blocks and angles. You got great angles on power. You got down blocks. The kids can really get on those double teams and work backside. And it's a different double team call than it is for our inside zone because we're doubling back to combo into a backside backer. But built-in adjustments for fronts and movements. So we do have some built-in adjustments for movements and things because, I want to run inside zone versus movements, but we have to have a plan if we have power called and people are moving. And sometimes it's really good against movement because you can get that stuff washed down and kicked and you're wrapping for nobody. Simple rules. And we marry the gap and zone together because as a defense coordinator, I want guys having to prepare for both gap and zone because it's less reps of them getting good at defending both. So it's different fits for the linebackers. It's it plays with the linebackers' eye discipline because they're having to fit zone, and then they're fitting power. And how are they going to take on that guard that's pulling, or how are they going to take care of that DN or the fullback kicking out? So I really like to marry the gap schemes and the zone schemes. So that's why power. So simple rules, all right? Everybody should know power. Easy rules. I don't like saying gap down backer, because that's typically that's not how our co-OC and offensive line coach teaches it. He's one of the best offensive line coaches I've ever worked with, but he doesn't say the term gap down backer. They have their double team calls, and they have their calls when they're going right to the backside backer. So he is, play side. He's down on the backside backer. Obviously, if he's got a lineman in his gap. All right, he's got, a 4-eye or whatever. He's going to be down on that, but he's down blocking. He's going back to this backer. This is versus under. The guard, he's down. He's got a guy in his gap. He's got a nose and a one technique in his gap. So he's blocking down on him. The center is blocking back. All right. If it's a 3 technique, if it's a shade, if it's a 2-eye or a 2, center's blocking back. All right. And then backside tackle is gapping, stepping into his gap and hinging back. So he's step, gap, hinge, backside. All right. Now, how you want to do, and then your fullback, he's kicking out. All right. He's into the line of scrimmage. All right, being very physical and kicking out. We tell him if this guy's wanting the, and then we're skip pulling, obviously, and pulling. If I got ahead of myself, we're skip pulling up to the linebacker, obviously. All right, and everybody's being real physical. We're staying square, wrapping up. The fullback, he's into the line of scrimmage. All right, and he is taught if this guy really wrong arms hard and tries to get in this gap, to fight him vertically. Okay, we don't want him logging immediately. Just go ahead and say, okay, fine, go inside. I'm gonna log you, and we're gonna get outside. We don't do that. All right, because then you're doing what the defense wants you to do. All right, we try to mix it up with our zone schemes and things that we do with that end, so he's getting various looks. So he can't just focus in on squeezing and wrong arming. All right, but if he's really trying to get inside, we like for our fullback to really attack him. All right, playing low, getting his head on the inside, all right, and then fight him vertically, okay? Because if he can fight him vertically and create space here, all right, and typically when someone comes in hard, this backer may scrape, and if you can fight him vertically and this backer scrapes out, and we're wrapping in here, we've got a big hole here, all right? So we don't just go ahead and say, hey, log him and let's get outside, all right? We have a call for that, all right? And I'm going to show you that in this in the outside run presentations, all right? Now, with your back, I've done it all kinds of ways. I've put him on the same side, all right? Hitting here on the same side. We've brought him across, different ways. This past year, we did both. All right, we did both where we put him on the same side and we put him on this side, and we flipped it around just by the play name. Nothing changed up front. It's just where the back is. I don't think that's a big deal. I don't think that's a big deal whether you're a same side power guy or you're an opposite power guy. I can give you the benefits of both. I think that same side, I think he typically hits it more vertically. All right, he's more downhill, same side. All right, and he gets in that gap a little faster. It's a little bit harder to bounce it, all right, when he's coming from the same side. And that's kind of the pro of having him opposite side. It's a little bit better track if he ends up bouncing, all right? And you can read it. You can do some things with some reads if he's opposite side. One negative, all right, to doing the same side also is, you got to protect that. You don't want to get into the thing where, when your backs are on the same side, like this look here, that you're always running power out of that set. So that's on you as a coach to make sure you're protecting your plays and running various run schemes and pass schemes, all right, with the back stacked. Versus over, if you've got 3 technique, now they're doubling here to backside. All right, so they're making a tango call. They're here and they're working the backside, then blocking back on the shade, and we're gap hinging, skip, pull around, kick. Okay, and that's our power versus bear. All right, and we saw a lot of bear front when I was at Thompson. We saw a lot of bear front in 2017 at Massillon. All right, we don't see a lot of bear anymore because we were so successful at running power versus it. To start off with, there's various things you can do with your power schemes versus bear fronts, and typically I like to dictate that on how good their nose is or how good their 3 technique is. All right, but like this example right here, this is the easy fix, best way, to teach it is when you get a bear front, make a down call, all right, and everybody is blocking down. Everybody's blocking down their gap, down, and we're kicking and we're wrapping, all right here. All right, now you don't have a hat for him. That's the problem, right? When you make the down call, all right, and you're blocking back on everyone, and you're trying to kick and wrap, all right, and you got a free hitter in the box that way. So, I like same side for this too, because it's really hard for this guy to get over the top through all that trash and make the play. All right, so there's some options you can do to help you with that. You can gap hinge here. All right, and you can double team here. You can try to tell this tackle that he's going to cut the 3 technique off and let this guy go, and then you can work a double team with your center and your guard to him. All right, depending on how good he is. If you want to do that, or you can run like a midline type read, and I'll show you that read. But this is the best way I find to block it up. Answers versus 7 in the box. Obviously, if you're running power and you're getting successful at it, people are going to put 7 in the box, right? You can rip the backside. We've done a lot of different things because, obviously they got more in the box than you can block. You probably want to throw the football, but sometimes you got to run the ball. And like I said, run the ball when you need to run the ball, throw the ball when you need to throw the ball. But in this situation, if it's 7 in the box and we want to run the football, we can rip the backside tackle inside, all right, and read the DN, or just let the DN go. If it's same side and let him go, he might make the play, he may not get there in time. That's another good thing about the back being on the same side. It's really hard to run that thing down from the back side. Or you can read him. RPOs, all right? You add a hat. That plays into the program systems philosophies and personnel groupings. Add a hat. They added a hat on defense. You add a hat offensively. Now you're back up the equal blocking numbers. And then obviously I got on there, throw the ball, the big exclamation points. At some point in the game, if they're putting 7 in the box, it's time to throw the football. All right, so power versus odd stack, okay? You can run power versus odd stack, I'm not saying don't run power versus odd stack. It's really good versus odd stack. All right. People start slanting and moving, and I'll go back a slide. You know, let's say that this right here was in an odd stack, okay? You know, all the movement and slanting and things, you know, our line would just block their rules, all right? They're down to their gap, up to the linebacker, you know, and if people cross their face, they would just wash it all down, all right? But it's a lot harder to do that. You end up having to slow your steps down, and you know, someone's crossing your face and you got to wash them all the way down the gap. So we run our power ISO, okay? We have a call for it. It's just another run play, all right? But nothing really changes, all right, for the line up front other than who they're responsible for blocking, okay? It's still a power scheme, but it's an ISO, all right? And the front side tackle, he's going to be locked, all right, on that DN, on that 4 technique. All right, he cannot let him go inside. He cannot cross his face. You know, he can widen and split. He can do some things that make it a little more, give him a little more advantage. He can align himself. Some people call it performance aligning. He can line up to give himself an advantage. So he can widen and split, and he can't let that guy come inside of him. So he's going to base him, and then the guard in the center, they're going to double team to the backside backer, okay? They're going to double team to the backside backer. So number 3 backer in the box, all right? And the backside tackle, he's going to be locked. Same thing as the front side tackle. Don't let the guy inside. Don't let him come in inside gap. You can widen your split, do whatever you got to do. So they're working their double team here, all right? And then on this play, all right, the fullback is going to ISO number 1 in the box, okay? He's going to ISO number 1 in the box. And then the guard's going to skip pull, and he's going to be just a little bit tighter, and he's wrapping for the Mike linebacker. Okay? He's wrapping for the Mike linebacker. If that Mike linebacker blitzes and he's coming, you know, obviously it'll turn into a trap, right? Because that's the guy he's responsible for blocking. And typically when that's happened, the nose has gone away and it creates a big seam for us. All right, so that's our power ISO. That's kind of an answer, all right, when people want to get into an odd stack, or, you know, we're having a tough time, you know, blocking a DN, you know, right here. This is versus odd. I'll get to the blocking a DN thing when they're trying to wrong arm. But this is versus odd. You know, you got numbers in the box. He's still wrapping for number 2 in the box. So he's got to understand that when you're teaching this thing now, okay? We can stay on this double team and really maul that nose. And he's still wrapping for number 2. Don't let him get mixed up and take the guy that we're ISOing, because the fullback's still ISOing the number 1 guy in the box. All right, so you got that going on. Lock both tackles. All right, so then you get into power ISO for a hard spill team. Remember when I was talking about, you know, we don't log and bounce, you know, so this is kind of our answer too versus even front teams, that the DN really wants to spill, and he wants a wrong arm, and he wants to get inside that gap. Well, let's give him a new look. Let's block him, all right? Let's block him with the tackle. Let's go down on the nose, back on the 3, and then he's wrapping for the backside backer. And we're ISOing the front side backer. All right, so it's just power ISO versus an even front. That kind of can help us out a little bit when a DN's really wrong arming and squeezing the down block. It's really good to run this play against even front teams and power. Run them both. You know, you might run this play 3 times and power twice, or power 3 times and then 2 power ISOs, and you know, it kind of gives that DN multiple looks, and it's still a physical downhill run play. The back, I like for him to be on the same side on this. You can do opposite side as well on this. You can really do both. Then we have our counters. All right, we got our counter as a gap scheme off of it, just, you know, blocking back, gap hinge. You know, they're doubling here, and he's skip pulling. He's kick out pulling. He's gonna pull and then into the line of scrimmage, kick out the DN, and the fullback's gonna be the wrap guy on this. So that's counter. And I have a whole presentation. We're going to go over a bunch of counters. But that I just wanted to show you that's one of our gap schemes. So let's watch the film here. This is a little different formation we had planned for that week. It's not a great clip as far as clinic tape, but we score on it here. You can see our guard and tackle really working hard that double team. Our fullback gets beat here. All right, and he tries to fight him vertical, and it gets kind of washed, and we bounce it. So it's not a great clinic look there. Here it is, just power down in the goal line. Everybody's down. We're kicking, fighting vertical, getting in the end zone. And our guard is taught, if the fullback's engaged and he's fighting vertical and there's no hold there, he's going to wrap up in there and just throw his body into it and create a hole. Here's a look with two fullbacks. We'll double kick both sides. And this is a bear look. As you see, we're down, down, down. Everybody, make a down call or a back call, whichever you want to call it. And everybody's blocking down. We do some check with me sometimes. So everybody's back, and then we're wrapping for that. And they do have a free hitter with the safety, but our guy wins the one-on-one. Here's another look at power. Our same side power. Great look at our power here. Down, getting a good kick out. We're wrapping, getting in the end zone. And most of these clips are same side. We're really, really big same side power team the past 2 years. All right, so here is our power ISO scheme. You can see it a little better from the end zone shot. So it's versus an even front. So he's going to base here, and we're going to ISO up in the box. All right. So this is a team that was really a hard spill team, and you can see how it creates a lot of space. You notice how our guard is skip pulling. And he's really tight. He's really tight around the down block because he knows he's wrapping for this guy this backer here. So he knows he's got to be really tight to cut him off, and then we're ISOing this backer. Notice our what I talked to earlier about our quarterback. If I can pause it here. I'll try to time it up. Nice, consistent elbow bend. Okay, great distance, and like I tell our quarterbacks, I should see that every time. All right, so our quarterback gets a good, consistent feel of where that ball is going to be. All right, and I tell him when you pull that backhand off, really put it in there. All right, so the running back feels that pressure of the ball going into him. So here's some other looks at our power ISO. Great football play. This versus an odd front team. This guy really fights inside, and our tackle ends up, he is locked on this guy. He ends up washing him. All right, so that does happen with this play. Our guard does a great job of getting around that. Wish his head was a little more inside, but he does get around it and create some space here. There's another look at it versus odd stack. And again, we marry it up with the inside zone and our outside zone schemes. Here, let's get an end zone shot of it. All right, so this guy, he lines up inside this DN, and our tackle's, locked. He ends up going outside, And he went outside too, so we had, one less guy to block. We had extra numbers. So, but a good coaching point here, all right? You want to teach your fullback. He's responsible for this stack backer, all right? So if he walks up outside, he still has him, okay? If he walks up in this gap, he still has him because the tackle's locked onto the 4 technique. So it's really important that you teach that to him because you don't want him to walk up outside, all right, and the fullback still goes in here with nobody to block. Remember, because we're wrapping tight for this guy, right? And we're gap hinging here to kind of sort this stack out. So you want to teach your fullback, hey, this cat walks up, all right, you're going to go out on him there, okay? Kind of unique how that happened. Both those guys jumped out, but another reason why we scored a touchdown. Win the one-on-one in the open field. Same thing here. I really encourage coaches, if you don't have a blaster, an old school blaster, to get one, or you can get foam noodles or anything. I take foam noodles and bags and things, and I'm always slapping at the football with the running backs to learn how to protect that ball through traffic. All right, and you got to rep that. You got to practice that. It's just so important about ball security. There's a few more. Here's some opposite side power cut-ups. This is when I was at Thompson. Everybody's down. We're kicking with the fullback. All right, we're gap hinging with the backside tackle, hitting our landmark. And this running back was just he liked the opposite side a little better. And we did some bounce stuff with him. He was a really fast kid. There's us shifting. It's very easy to shift and move in this offense. You can just say, if, like this formation right here, we're in dog, trips left. And then we just go shift, all right? And that shifts the fullback to the right. So you're able to do that type of stuff with the shift and the moving. He gets kind of stuck here, and our guard misses it and hits outside, so that really makes our back come outside. I think we got called for holding there. So power. Power is a great football play, great downhill physical run play. Really like power out of the shotgun, and that's where, it's a traditional pro-style offense run. And we're just doing it from the shotgun. Been really successful rushing the football past 5 years running power. Really do a good job with it. Kids love it too. Kids love it. We can lead it with an extra back. See that? With 2 backs. If you got a slew of running backs like we did here at Thompson, we had a bunch of running backs, and so why would I put an offense in where we only use one? We had 2 really good dominant backs, so we jumped in this 2-back set, and then we could run power with a lead blocker. There's another look at power with a lead blocker. He's blocking the edge there. So those are just some different ways you can run your power schemes, out of the shotgun in this offense. So that's power.